Hi, I'm Patrick McMillan. I'm Director of Horticulture and Gardens here at Juniper Level Botanic Garden and Plant Delights Nursery. And I'm excited to share with you some of the things I think are the most important things that botanical gardens can do, and what your support for our botanic garden does for not just us, but the entire horticultural world. So we're standing next to one of the most fascinating features that has ever been developed here at Juniper Level, and I gotta admit, when I saw it the first time, my mind was blown. And every year when I would visit, and then now working here every day, I'm amazed at what happens in our crevice garden. So for those of you not familiar with crevice gardens are really unique gardens that rely on sort of tight, narrow fissures between rocks to provide perfect drainage, and as well as providing the plants with the perfect humidity level to keep plants that are generally difficult to grow because they usually die of root rot, or they don't survive well here in the eastern United States because they're from desert climates or Mediterranean climates. And these remarkable gardens allow us to grow things that we find at alpine zones, that we find in deserts, that we find in Mediterranean climates, all here in the humid southeast. And I've got to say, out of what we've been able to do here in these crevice gardens, some of the things just are absolutely outstanding. Take a look here. Coming up boisterously right now is a California fuchsia. This is not a real fuchsia, it's what we call Zauschneria, now actually transferred into the genus Epilobium. But this plant from California and the desert Southwest has a propensity, it loves winter moisture and summer drought. And that's the climate that we see in most Mediterranean zones. And this has, despite the fact it produces just this abundance of beautiful red flowers in the fall, it's been impossible for us to grow, and at least grow and have look nice here in the southeastern US, until we plant it in something like this, the crevice garden. And this is just one of just a ton of strange species that we're able to grow here that you'd never believe you could grow here. The aerial iris group that we're growing here, Tony had tried to talk a breeder of these incredible irises into sharing plants with us, and he just simply wouldn't do it for years and years, because these plants are hybrids of Middle Eastern species that absolutely hate summer moisture. And so they've proven impossible here in the southeastern US. But now we've got variety after variety after variety growing for years, successfully expanding, reproducing right here in the crevice garden. Incredible forms and flower colors that you just can't find elsewhere in iris. So that's really the innovative part of Plant Delights in Juniper Level, is that we've been able to do things like produce these enormous crevice garden features. But it's innovation, and it's also conservation, sustainability. And rather than building our crevice garden out of sandstone or quarried rock, what we decided to do here was to build them out of concrete. And this is repurposed concrete from an old pad that was up here on the new property. And when that old foundation was broken apart, the concrete was stored and it was reutilized here to make our crevice garden. It just goes to show you that you don't have to mine out, you don't have to break apart the natural world. You can repurpose things and recycle things to create an incredibly sustainable and innovative design like this. And of course, the third most important part to me about botanic gardens really is that education piece. And so visiting us on an open house day, visiting us any day, and asking any of us about what's going on here, what is this, will get you more answer than you probably want. But we also strive to produce classes on just how you can go about creating something like this in your own backyard. Jeremy Schmidt, who's our research manager here, is an absolute master at constructing crevice gardens, and he's now done it all throughout North America. So innovation, conservation, education. The species we're able to grow now give us a greater depth of greater palette for our own horticultural landscapes, but they also help us to preserve and innovate into conserving new forms and conserving maybe old horticultural species that are, old horticultural cultivars that are disappearing in many places, and also rare and endangered flora that in the wild are losing habitat at a remarkable rate. And in a crevice garden, we can grow something like the crazy winter flowering Europhysa. It's a genus of plants with only 2 species, both incredibly rare, that grow in fissured rocks in China. And as far as I know, we're growing what is the only cultivated plants in North America, this species. And it turns out, even though we started in the crevice gardens, probably something that you'll see soon in your garden space at home, in standard garden, standard regular garden conditions, just open sunny sites. So this gives us a chance for that experimentation that's so critical in bringing you the best of Juniper Level, the best plants that we can grow in the southeastern United States. And your support for the endowment is what allows us to continue this, not just now, but into the foreseeable future. Thank you.